So what is up, guys? Welcome back to the More Nick Ackerman channel, and today we're talking about an old boy, the iPhone XS Max. It's been about 5 years, and I gotta tell you, I'm setting this up for an upcoming video, so stay tuned to the main channel where we're gonna do a speed test versus the latest iPhone 15 Pro Max. But I gotta tell you, I've been pretty impressed. Now, I have this overpriced case from Apple that I bought several years ago, but I've had this since day one. And because I was able to switch to the iPhone 11 Pro Max that came after this, I didn't really drain the battery health on this. So it's still at a crazy 100% on this phone. I only use it for testing and some, I would throw my SIM in there once in a while so I can give you updated videos, how it performs year after year. But I still retain a 100% battery health, so I can give you a full take on it. Now, first of all, I gotta tell you, this phone still just feels super nice in the hand. As a matter of fact, I would go on record to say that the 15 Pro Max doesn't feel as comfy or is smooth in the corners. These rounded edges just make this phone feel so nice in the hand. Now, some people probably don't like the rounded edges, the look-wise. I do feel like it looks more like a Samsung kind of device with the rounded edges, but this gold color is really premium. It's really quite beautiful to look at, and it just has this shine to it you don't find on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's the current model. Now, this is not a comparison to that phone, but that's the most phone that I've been using the most lately, so it's going to be in my mind a little bit as we discuss this. Now, another thing I want to say that's surprising about this device is just how well it performs. I mean, I'm testing this thing out and I'm really excited to see how this is going to go up against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I know a lot of people say, well, you're not really testing much, but if you just kind of go through these applications and just see, there's really just no real issue here. iOS 17.1 has been doing pretty good even on older smartphones here. So that's really nice. And this might be the last year of updates, so this is not really a video recommending you to buy it, but it's insane how good it performs here in 2023, being that this phone came out in 2018. So when we talk about how the iPhones definitely last a long time, well, here is a long-term review of a phone that came out in 2018, and you can see how it performs. This just goes to prove that the iPhone 15 Pro Max should last 7 years maybe for you if you want to keep it that long. Now, I also want to say that the display is still absolutely gorgeous on this phone. We do have a big notch up there, but it's a little bit up here. It's not deep like on the 13 Pro Max, and there's no punch hole, dynamic island, nothing like that. But still, it's there, so that's still something. But the display itself is still pretty bright. It's still OLED. It has 3D touch. It has True Tone night shift. So the experience of the display itself is actually only about, I would say in reality, maybe a 30% downgrade from the newer phones. It really is quite great, honestly. One thing that is very noticeable though, I mean, only if you're doing a comparison, is the bezels are quite a bit thicker. But honestly, when you're not comparing, nobody really is going to care. So, this still looks fantastic. Whether you're looking at Instagram photos or whatever you're doing, the display just has very good contrast, very deep blacks. And it was really a fantastic display on the original iPhone 10. And then we got the bigger XS Max here, which just took it up a notch. So definitely this display is just still awesome here 5 years later. I really don't have much more else to say about it. It's just goes to show that you can keep your iPhone a super long time for sure. Now, another thing that is pretty good still is the cameras. Believe it or not, the cameras on this phone are actually still very solid. They don't have the ultra wide on here, but they take really good video. You can do 4K at 60 video. And honestly, I would take this camera over a lot of Android phones that come out right now in terms of the video quality, because it's still got that Apple video quality, that amazing focus, that 4K 60. And while it doesn't have action mode, it's not going to be as smooth in recording in terms of steadiness as some competing devices. It still looks pretty amazing here nonetheless. So most people are not really going to care. One thing that is a flaw is, well, not really a flaw, but HD 60 on the front is not super sharp. And this is a big upgrade that came to the 11 series. But I got to tell you, overall, this camera is still pretty darn solid. It's still very usable and functional here 5 years later, even though it looks tiny by comparison to the modern iPhones. It still works fantastically well. Now, when it comes to software, you can still run the majority of new applications on the App Store. That's what I really like about this. You're getting this polished premium iOS software for basically, yeah, I mean, if you bought an iPhone XS Max right now, it would cost you probably $200, maybe $100. Yeah, it's an older phone, but you would have a premium gadget here for not a premium price at all. So definitely something I would say, if you're looking for a cheap budget iPhone and you want a big one, this could be something to consider. But just keep in mind, you are probably on your last year of updates, so don't get this thinking you're going to have several years to go. Okay, eBay's not working right now, but you're not going to have this for several years to go. But it's just crazy how good it performs, the software, and how you can still kind of use everything in the same fashion. Now, battery life is draining quite a bit faster than, some other newer iPhones. And that's just simply due to the fact that this phone doesn't have as large of a battery. But at the end of the day, it still gets through a full day with regular usage, as long as you're not, you don't have super low capacity. Now, some users who have under 80% capacity will be saying it's trash right now because their battery is low. But if you just go change your battery, go get yourself a new battery at the Apple Store, you'll have a pretty good battery life experience once again. So this has the A12 Bionic, which is actually the same CPU that was in the very great 2018 iPad Pro, which brought the all new design. And this also has 4 gigs of RAM, which is still in some current iPhones that are for sale today, like the iPhone 13. So 4 gigs of RAM has proven to be enough for Apple's iPhones. And 6 gigs makes it better, and 8 gigs makes it even better than that. But keep this in mind that, 4 gigs held this phone this long. So I could only imagine how long the 8 gigs on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 6 gigs on the, the regular 15s and 15 pluses is going to hold those over. So, this is plenty good enough for the type of software Apple does employ on these devices. But just having this polish and this newer feel on this older iPhone, it's just pretty cool. So if we go down here to standby, you see we still have the standby feature. We go to wallpapers here. I'm not going to change this one out or I'll probably lose it, but you get all the new wallpapers, the new lock screen features, all that new stuff that comes with iOS on a phone that's 5 years old. That's pretty cool if you ask me. While this phone never had the best reception strength, doesn't have 5G, it had pretty loud speakers on the bottom and on the top. Lightning now looking old because they finally did USB-C, although I think that was because of the pressure of a lot of people, making them, or probably pushed them to make that decision. But Lightning port's still available, but a lot of people are still using a lot of Lightning port devices. And of course, AirPods and all that stuff still connects very well to this product right here. This does have wireless charging, and you can tell it's an older iPhone because they no longer write iPhone on there, but it still feels like a premium gadget here. Several years later, this XS Max was a gorgeous gold, if you ask me. It just feels really premium still, even though it's 5 years old. That's pretty insane to say. So is this an iPhone I would recommend right now? And the answer is no. But it's a phone I could recommend if you have it to give off to somebody to, do something like that. This device, I'll probably be trading it in soon. But this device right here, it's held its own. It really has, and is super usable. And the funny thing is that there's nothing really about it that would hold me back in day-to-day tasks here in 2023. Like, I could still do everything I got to do on this phone in 2023 on an iPhone XS Max. Yeah, I could do everything. Video, I could do all the social media stuff I need to do, all the email replying, text messages, iMessage, the whole nine. You could do the whole entire iPhone experience here. You don't get the wide angle. You don't get the flex with the newer dynamic island and all that stuff. If that's what you're into. But you do get yourself a phone that still has premium iOS software updates, a premium Apple feel, great video. This is insane that this phone still feels this good. So let me know your thoughts. I think it's pretty surprising. This is a surprising experience. I would think it's only on like the 11 Pro Max, but no, it's pretty good here. The only con I would say is the battery. If you have an older one, it's probably not great, but if you just get that replaced, no problem. 6.5 inch is pretty good. It doesn't feel too different from 6.7. It's a really solid phone still. I don't know what else to say. It's surprising. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know your experience on the XS Max. Do you still have one? And be subscribed to the main channel because it's going up against the iPhone 15 Pro Max here very soon on the main channel. So be subscribed to that one as well. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well and peace.